Hi Virgo, here is a general look at your solar chart for May 2015, and every year at this time the Sun comes into Taurus, which is in a really good supportive angle to your Sun sign potential. And new potentials are in the wind as the month kicks off. Up until the 21st, the Sun is in a very outgoing, expansive sort of area where you can be enjoying knowledge, enjoying communications, enjoying learning new things or teaching things to others. Some of you may have itchy feet. It's a good time to get out of your normal rut, your normal daily round, and get somewhere different, somewhere unfamiliar. Try out new things, and it's a great time to make plans. It's also a good time to launch into things as well. As a Mercury ruled sign, it's always interesting for you, or in fact it's sometimes quite important for you to know what Mercury is up to. So this month Mercury is in is at the top of your chart, which is an area to do with how others see you, your image across the wider stage. So it's professional area, but it's also the area of your goals, your ambitions, etc. So all of that could be highlighted, and there could be conversations around that area there, but also with others to do with that area there across the wider stage. So you will be putting mental effort into things, writing things down maybe, or just speaking, expressing yourself in the best way you can to get the message across, because you also are the message bearer, as is Gemini. You are also a message bearer sign in the zodiac. So to get the message across in the way that you desire, also travel, vehicles, transport, communications equipment, that type of thing will be on your mind, but also maybe with the Sun and Mars in this very expansive area to do with communications across a wider stage, anything to do with broadcasting and publications will also be emphasized. Now, Mercury is doing a couple of things that you should know about. First of all, Mercury in the first week is going across the Sun. It's opposing the Sun. And so therefore Mercury may be on a bit of a go slow, and there could be communication glitches, or just you got more on your mind, really, and that can be mentally or physically, and there could be more paperwork perhaps, or lists, or just things that you got to do using the intellect, that's that part of your mind. And then towards in the second half of the month, Mercury goes retrograde from the 19th. And so this may also be a slower moving phase. It goes retrograde for 3 weeks. And this is the time to dot the I's and cross the T's with responsibilities in the wider world, or to do with the profession, and also anything to do with your image, anything to do with bureaucracy, red tape, as well. So it will be officials and officialdom, also, that maybe you will have more involvement with that type of thing, and paperwork, forms maybe, oh joy, forms. Then once the retrograde is over, it's all your ducks should be in a row, because you've been more thorough, you've taken the time, because Mercury was going to force you into a sort of a bit of a traffic jam anyway. So you've volunteered to take the time to be more thorough, crossing the I's, dotting the T's, meeting your responsibilities and your commitments regarding, targets, goals, ambitions, and also your presentation in this world, or which I say this world, there's many worlds in this world. So whichever world you are revolving and orbiting in. And until the 8th, well, we're all in the same world really, but there's many perceptions of it, isn't there? So until the 8th, Venus is helping to create more favorable circumstances in that area. Venus and Mercury working together, so oiling the wheels, and meaning that those in authority, or those that you connect with to do with career or to do with your goals and ambitions, will tend to see you in a better light, or just are, you can make friends. You feel comfortable with them. The tendency is in that direction. And because of that, you're more relaxed, and you're more. It can be very valuable because you can reach that goal, whatever it is, in a more relaxed manner, which is pretty ideal. And or you yourself could be seen as the one to give another a helping hand, because you're seen as the authority figure who is friendly and willing to give another a leg up. So now Mars is in the same area as the Sun, expansive area, getting you out there, getting you out of the rut. It's a good time to be shaking off the cobwebs. It's a good time to be connecting in with any educational pursuits, as I said about the Sun, but also your physical energy you may be pushing the envelope of ordinary everyday life and getting right outside of the routine box, mentally and physically, and this is you connecting with the higher energies, the spiritual energies, the higher mind as well. And then from the 12th, Mars comes out of there and goes into the same area as Mercury. So Mars is really putting some fire into that area of Mercury, helping you to achieve your goals and ambitions in this world, you being far more the initiator, the motivator, but also feeling the motivation coming at you through another or through a situation, helping you to make up your mind. Mars will help to get you where you want to go, as long as you keep your cool, because Mars can have run-ins with authority figures or with people who just want to put a block in the way because they can. It's a rule. So rather than, take the bait, with Mars there, you've got to be careful, you see. You can feel frustrated with the powers that be, but rather than take the bait, just keep your cool, don't be hasty, and you will make progress with the master plan. And then Venus moves out of this area, oiling the wheels with authority figures, has already moved out of that area on the 8th before Mars comes in there on the 12th. And goes into the area to do with your friendships, your group associations, and cultivating those types of associations, but generally tending to warm them, again bringing that balancing, friendly, gentler energy into that area there. So it's great for supportive, mutual support with others, in a group, in a club, in a circle, in a society, in an organization, online, in the collective. Very much the collective this is. And just pooling, pooling knowledge, pooling resources, pooling whatever, and anything related to a group, the group dynamic, working with a group, through a group, for a group, then that is likely to feel the enabling, facilitating energy of Venus there. It can also be lucrative as well. Anything related to technology or activity online may be interesting, materially beneficial, and generally facilitate positive experiences. From the 21st, the solar energy theme means targets or overall directions will move to center stage. So that's when the Sun rejoins Mars in this in the area of your chart where you're more serious about your goals and ambitions and establishing this image and the impression in the world and the reputation, etc. Mars comes in there to fire, the Sun comes into that same area as Mars and catches up with Mars really. And at times you will feel the pressure of meeting certain commitments, certain deadlines, certain standards, and having to be aware of presentation, etc. But and also rules, the rules again. But the overall idea is to project a good image and be consistent and responsible as you go forwards. Now we do have Mars going across, opposing Saturn at the beginning of the 3rd week, so that can be a bit of sort of wheels going through a muddy, swampy bit, slowing you down, or maybe making you feel more pressured, or maybe you just feel like your energy is taking a dip. But it's very brief, so maybe you can plan for that. If you find that Mars is particularly strong for you in your chart, because some people will feel these little transits across Saturn, or Saturn is strong in your chart as well, in maybe an area that needs, in a way which needs work from you. Because some people won't feel these transits to Saturn very much at all, and others will. And also the Sun opposes Saturn in the first half of the last week, resulting in a brief dip in confidence, or some more challenge there, or just having to be more serious about everything, really. So that's for your information. Saturn is in Sagittarius until June, and comes out of there in June. And so as Sagittarius is another mutable sign, this means it's a more challenging angle onto your sun sign. You Virgos born the 23rd to the 27th of August, or with 0 to 4 degrees, you very, very early Virgos, degrees rising, you very early Virgos, you're going to be feeling that the most at the moment, because Saturn is retrograding back into the previous position in Scorpio, which it will come to again in June. Saturn is challenging you at the moment to take responsibility for the dust swept under the carpet to do with the past, and the skeletons in the closet, you know. Also, just those knee-jerk responses which are very, very much embedded in our conditioning, in our own conditioning, or it might be the conditioning of family members, or it might be the conditioning of those from your extended family. So you might be getting an interest in this area because you are the healer and helper and the servant in the zodiac. So as you experience things, so maybe you then have the wisdom to be able to help others, because you're always looking to see how you can help others, whether that's in this sort of field or whether it's another one. It will still be grist to your mill. It will still be a strand in your weaving, as it were. So outwardly you may have to work harder to do with family members or extended family, or it might be that you miss that, that there is like a feeling of blockage there, because that is Saturn's way of evening everything out and strengthening us up in whichever area she goes. So if you've been tolerating certain things to do with family relationships, or the domestic setup, or the location, or to do with maybe to do with the past in some way, then very slowly, in a step-by-step fashion, you will be able to improve things there, because first of all you must be able to target what they are. You've got to be conscious of what they are, and and also the other thing about doing work on yourself, because we're all a product of our history, and this is very much an area to do with history. And nobody's perfect, even though your sign does aspire to be perfect, and is quite critical of itself. If you were perfect, you could not be in this dimension. It would not be able to hold. You would not be able to hold in the energy of this dimension, because you would be, you just need to be back to source, really, perfection. So you're still, you know, in the game, on the merry-go-round, and going through evolution in order to take that, whatever it is, knowledge, understanding, energy, or maybe it's a bundle of all that and even many, many more, back to source eventually. Well, that's the way I see it anyway. And Jupiter. Now I have to say about Jupiter something, which is that at the moment Jupiter is helping you to tie up loose ends from the past, and it's in the sign before yours, so it's a little bit of the same kind of thing as what's going on with Saturn, as a matter of fact, but you'll be doing more behind the scenes, maybe expanding and growing and finding out more about your deeper self as well, and maybe doing some therapy, some practices that will help that. Maybe having a huge taking stock or review of the past through some sort of creative method. You Virgos born the 4th to the 9th of September with 12 to 17 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most. But what I wanted to say was that there is a lovely connection between Jupiter and Uranus this month. So you may find yourself really pushing into a very strange and unusual and unfamiliar territory, which can help you to get to the bottom of things, if that's what you want to do, or to find very new technology or new methods that will help you to get things organized in the way you want to get organized, either with yourself or maybe with archives, or maybe with, you know, like the biography or whatever. Okay, and then a quick mention of Neptune is that just, you know, again, you have to sort of, you got to sort of trim back your natural urge to be there for everybody, you know, all of the people all of the time, really, because with Neptune in your opposite sign, that makes you a little bit more prone to do that. So have respect for yourself, set in proper boundaries for yourself. Don't always have the yes message on your door, you know. Sometimes you have got to put the do not disturb message on your door. And also don't put somebody else on a pedestal, because if you find yourself inclined to do that, there's something out of sync with your thinking there, because nobody is ever above anybody else. You're going to aspire to the mastery or the maturity of somebody else, but then that's down to you to get there. That isn't just you sort of admiring the sun shining out of them. And you Virgos born, well, that's again how I see it. You Virgos born the 31st of August to the 3rd of September, or with 8 to 11 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most this month. But this wonderful energy with Jupiter and Uranus, which is still very, very close over May. They were quite close in March for a time. They'll be very, very close over the second half of June, but they're still close enough for it to be mentioned in May, and there's wonderful potential with that, and you can make some progress, particularly to do with deep past, the sort of like the deep history, the deeper meaning to it all, and in your deeper emotions, I would say. And a few other things as well. Anyway, that's it for May. If you know your rising sign and your moon sign, listen to those. And also this is written up on my website, the sort of basics of it, so you can get the bones of it. And I'll see you the next time.